Good evening, everyone.
Hi, Rocky.
How are you doing?
Pretty good.
Good.
Hey. Hi, Rocky. Hey, Becky. Hey, everybody.
Hi,
Oh, hi
Kathy.
there, Kathy.
Good evening, ladies. How is
How are you
everybody
doing,
tonight?
Teresa?
Hello.
Oh, there's a couple of Teresas on here.
Oh, you.
Yeah, mine says Brittany Watkins, but that's actually
Oh, I
my
knew
name
your
is
face,
Teresa.
though.
I should probably change the name, but then I'm afraid she'll be like, "What did you do?" All right, I'm going to put in my name, and then she can change it if she has to. Now I can feel official.
There you
Ah,
go.
there we go. Now I'm official. So, how is everybody tonight? Well, it's tonight for me. I don't know about you guys.
Tonight for me.
I am on the East Coast where it's been really cold, but I'm sure there's other places in this country that have been even colder. And looking forward to spring.
Definitely. I'm done. I'm done this year.
Yeah,
Me too.
not digging the groundhog seeing a shadow,
Mhm.
but that's okay because it's got 6 weeks no matter what we do.
I'm
So
reluctant to say this, but I'm in Northern California and we've had some really nice weather. So,
you don't even have to be
sorry,
reluctant
guys.
to say that. Just be appreciative because I'm going to say this is one of the colder winters. It's been other level cold for somebody from New Jersey. So not appreciating the cold. Just
Yeah.
putting that out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
I grew
But
up in
15 layers all
Wisconsin.
the times. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I grew up in Wisconsin, so I know all about cold. So,
However, the one positive thing is when you wear a lot of layers, spring hits and you start taking off layers, and everybody's like, "Oh, you lost so much weight." And you're like, "Well, no, it's just the 5 layers of sweatshirts that came off." But you're just like, "Thank you." All right. So why don't we get started? I'd like to start with just a little bit of a 5 minute little meditation, something to just kind of put us in the space that we want to be in. And then we'll go ahead and do our wins for the week. Remember, they don't have to be food oriented. And sometimes by just settling down and bringing yourself into your body and just doing some mindful moments, it helps you focus on what went well because we tend to get distracted by what may not have gone so well. So if you would like to just sit in your chair, maybe sit back, close your eyes. You can turn your camera off if you don't feel comfortable with your eyes closed and your camera on. And then maybe let your feet rest on the floor. Feel your chair or the ground fully holding your weight. There's nothing to fix and nothing to perform here. Gently place one hand over your heart, and if that feels like too much, place it nearby on your chest, your upper belly, or simply rest your hands in your lap. Your body gets to choose. Take a slow breath in through your nose and an unforced exhale through the mouth. And again, inhale, slow and steady. Exhale, a little longer than the inhale. Now let your breath find a rhythm that feels natural. I like to say, let your body breathe you because it's been doing it all your life. Not a deep breath, not a shallow breath, just an easy breath. Now imagine your breath moving in and out through the center of your heart, as if your heart itself is breathing. Inhale through the heart, exhale through the heart. There's no rush because your nervous system is listening. As you breathe, silently repeat, in this moment, I am safe. I am calm. I choose to be here. No debate, no convincing, just an invitation in this moment. Nothing is required of you. Nothing is being taken from you. Nothing bad is happening right now. As you continue to inhale through your heart and exhale through your heart. Now bring into your mind a feeling, not a story, a feeling of safety or steadiness, whatever you prefer. It could be a memory, a place, a person, an animal, or simply the feeling of being wrapped in something warm and comfortable. Something you don't have to work for. Just a faint sense is enough. And let that feeling gently spread into your chest, like warmth spreading, like a soft light turning on. As you breathe, imagine that sense of safety and comfort expanding just a little bit more with every exhale, down your belly, across your shoulders, through your back. Your body does not need to protect you right now. It doesn't need to brace. It doesn't need to prepare for anything because you are here. You are supported and you are allowed to go slowly. Silently repeat to yourself, I can feel and still be safe and still be calm because I choose to be here. I choose. And if your mind wanders, that's not a problem. That's just being human. Just return to the hand on your heart. Return to your breath. Return to the feeling of now. As you inhale with your heart breathing in, you exhale with your heart breathing out. And maybe, just maybe, notice if anything in your body has softened, even a fraction. Because we're not here to force change. We're here to create safety and comfort for truth to surface. Because that always comes first. Always. So let's take one final slow breath into our heart and a very long breath out through our heart. And when you're ready, gently let your eyes open or lift your gaze and bring this sense of steadiness with you because we are ready to begin. We know now we are not alone in the work. How do we feel? Everybody feel ready to start? Great. So let's go ahead and start. You can open up your microphone and let's start with our wins. Thank you, Bethany.
I'll start. That was lovely. I am
Thank you.
just in the last week, I'm really becoming aware of my body and how I just didn't feel it. I was functioning, but I didn't really consciously feel my body. And in the last few days, literally just the last few days, I've been getting a lot of reels about somatic change, somatic exercises, and I've been doing them, and I just am beginning to become aware of what tension feels like in my body and what anxiety like feels in my body and what relaxing feels like in my body. And this afternoon I took a nap and I was so comfortable and I was so relaxed. And the phone rang. And I've been a little jazzed ever since that happened. Um, because it just sort of moved the tension and the anxiety back in, even though I was relaxed. But that's a win because I could feel it. I didn't quite know how to get rid of it because I was enjoying being relaxed before. But the win is that I can feel it, I can be aware of it. And so now I can try to change it. And I'm realizing that it's through physical movement that I need to get rid of it. So
Yeah,
anyway,
that's a beautiful, beautiful realization.
yeah, and what you just did totally fed into what I'm going through. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. So because I am a trained yoga therapist and I've been very highly trained in trauma, one of the things they say almost repetitively is you have to feel it to heal it. If you don't bring it into the body, you cannot fully heal. And part of that also what you guys are learning you're developing is that sense of what they call, you know how we think we have five senses? We really don't. They keep identifying new ones. But interoception is one of the senses. That is the ability to feel into your body and just, you know what's happening. And what you just said tells me that you're getting that interoception is developing a little more fully again. You're feeling, because when you can feel that twinge of, shoot, I'm getting anxious, or wow, I'm starting to feel angry, then you can have the ability to choose your reaction. You can have the ability to tap through something and you can pattern interrupt.
I like that idea, pattern interrupt.
Yeah, before
Yeah,
grabbing the thing that you don't want to really eat, you're just trying to feed your emotions. You can interrupt the pattern because now you feel it before it manifests.
thank you.
So good for you. That is a really big win.
Yeah.
That's a very big one. Come on, somebody else had to have something good this week. Or are we shy? This is not a place to be shy. Go ahead, Rocky. Please don't be shy here.
Uh, just one thing, it seemed kind of odd. Yesterday I didn't have enough protein in and I hadn't eaten enough. And I thought, okay, what would I really like to eat? And I've gotten to the point where I have to force myself to eat. And that's good, but that's bad. But I got to get the protein in. Well, so I thought, what haven't I had in a long time? And I thought a peanut butter sandwich. So I thought, okay, I've got room in what I've eaten today to do that. I have been burping peanut butter since last night, and it's not good tasting peanut butter either. So I don't know if something's changed with that particular taste, but I just thought it was a little odd. So I thought I'd share. I'm
Was
not
it the
going to be
same
going
brand you
for
normally get?
I'm sorry?
Was it the same brand you normally get?
Yes, yes. But
Interesting.
something was not settling. And the only thing it wasn't bad. It tasted good going down. But I've never had that response to peanut butter that I tasted forever because I love my peanut butter. But it was just strange.
That is,
Win,
I mean,
lose.
that's interesting. I would keep noticing it because maybe sometimes when you start changing how you eat, you'll start noticing certain things just don't resonate with you anymore.
Mhm.
I mean, I love chocolate. I love chocolate. My body does not. So I have to be very particular and just have small little piece of chocolate when I want it, and then know that if I get too crazy, I'm going to pay the price. And that's unusual for me because that wasn't the case a couple years ago. So maybe something's shifting within your body. So I would just notate it. Keep an, mentally make a notation. And you can even tap on it, especially if you say, I don't think I can eat peanut butter anymore and I really love peanuts. You might have to tap on that because sometimes that can be a little hard.
Maybe check the expiration date.
Oh, there's a good
You
thought.
you you said you haven't eaten it in a while. So
That, yeah, that expiration dates can be overlooked. In my house, I pull things out of the refrigerator and I'm like, this is 2 years old. What are we doing? Exactly. Anybody have any other wins or observations?
I just wanted to share that this is more of an observation. I really appreciate these groups, and I've prioritized them in my schedule. And the other observation is it may not be apparent to this group that usually I'm pretty shy on group calls. And I think this is just such a safe, wonderful, authentic container of people that I feel comfortable sharing, even though I'm newer to the group. And I just really want to thank you all for that.
Well, thank you for sharing that. That's what these groups are supposed to do. There's especially women, we work better in community. It's supposedly built into our DNA, apparently, but we work better in community. And it's really nice to know sometimes you're not the only person facing some of this stuff. When you feel like somebody else shares your struggle, it makes a huge difference. So, and thank you for speaking up. You never have to be shy around me. I am not a shy person. I can talk the ears off a brass monkey, according to my mother. So nobody has to be shy around me. So in that spirit, would somebody else like to share something?
I would. I always have trouble unmuting myself, but I found the button this time. Um, so I just joined less than a week ago, and I did the buddy call on Tuesday, and it was wonderful. And I see a couple people that were on it. Hi, Rocky. Hi, Karen. Whoops. So I just had such an amazing uh, reaction to a couple of videos that I watched, just kind of starting the course, and I just kept thinking, this is too good to be true. Like, I'm like, something's gonna happen, and I'm just gonna fall right back into it, and but it hasn't, and I just haven't had any sugar cravings for. It'll be a week tomorrow, and that is just so not normal for me at all. Like, even if I'm on a strict diet, I'm still craving sugar. I'm still, thinking about it all the time, right? And I'm wanting to eat the junk food, even if I'm being really good. Um, and I'm just dumbfounded. I can't believe that it is still lasting, and so excited. And I just was thinking today, like, what was I doing last Friday? Like, my husband was out of town, and so when he's gone, depending on how I'm doing with stress or whatever, that would be a time when I would just eat all day, probably, just bake some cookies or do this. And that's what I was doing last Friday. And, and, um, and I just started to think like, oh, and it's not necessarily, I just got done watching the little 2 hour bonus thing right at the beginning of the Think and Thin program. And Britt was talking about that, like, just well, actually, the guy on there was can't remember his name, but talking about how we eat to change our set point, or our like this emotion that we have. We just like kind of like eat to fix it, and it's not even sometimes a bad emotion. It's like we're happy, we're sad, we're excited, it's just something that it's like, okay, I don't like this feeling. I need to fix it. I need to change it. And then that's the food all the time. And that has just been the biggest shift for me. I can't believe it. I'm so excited. I've never felt this freedom. I mean it since I was a teenager. Seriously, just to not really think about food all the time. Just, oh, I'm, I'm so excited.
I'm so happy for you because this is changing work. And some people react really quickly, and some people it takes longer. But eventually, and tapping does help shift your state. You can shift your state using tapping. And if you can do that instead of using food to shift your state, then you are going to see the big wins, and you
Yeah,
are going to help eliminate the food noise, as they call it.
that's what I was trying to say. Shift the state. It was like I
Yes.
was using food to do that before, and it's just
I've seen
amazing
the
to me.
video, so I knew what you're talking about.
Right, right. Yeah, I'm just like, and now I can look back on my life and see how I was doing that all the time, like constantly, and it was just like just crazy to I never thought I could live without it. I never thought I could, and I don't feel this emptiness where it's missing either, and that to me, like, oh goodness, I could just cry, like that I thought I could never live without. So I'm so thankful. And I'm so excited to just keep diving in. Like I haven't even scratched the surface of what is inside this course. I just learned about the ball of light today and different things. And so yeah, I'm
The
super
ball of
excited.
light is powerful, very
Hmm.
powerful.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
I enjoy doing it for myself, and I enjoy doing it with other people. It is very powerful.
Hmm. Yeah, wonderful. So
Well,
yes.
thank you for that. Thank you for your, that's a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
I think we have Maddie. Go ahead, Maddie. You can unmute. Maddie, you're still muted.
Okay, is that better?
Yeah, we got you now.
Sorry. So my win is that I'm serving much smaller portions and eating a lot less, which is great, and I'm very happy with that. Um, my question is related to that, and I still need to do some work on pushing the plate away. And the reason I know that is because I'm still not managing in restaurants, I'm caving in. So I guess my question is, should I serve myself? I'm serving myself the right amount from as far as I can see. Should I serve myself more so that I can push the plate away and practice it at home? Or in which case I'm afraid of me starting to serve myself bigger portions again. How would you deal with that?
Um, so you say you serve yourself correct portions
Yeah,
when you're home, like
yeah.
you kind of measure out your food and stuff.
No,
You
I'm
eye it
just
up.
serving myself less and I'm feeling full by the time I finished it.
Okay. So, but that's not translating to the restaurants because they're giving you the portion they want to give you.
Yeah, yeah.
Did you try the technique of asking for the to-go box and putting portion on in the to-go box before you even start your meal?
Yeah, look, there are things I can do in the restaurant and I am aware of that.
Right.
My question is, what do I do at home to practice it?
You could try putting a little bit extra on your plate and push the food away. And know that
Okay.
you are know that you've got too much there, because that's the whole idea about pushing the plate away. You're just going to keep eating because it's on the plate. But if you're serving yourself, putting a little extra so you can practice pushing the plate away and getting used to the idea that there's food left on the plate, then you're not going to eat bigger servings because you're pushing the food away.
Okay, so go back to serving myself a bit more. And then
Doesn't have
back
to be
to
a huge amount. It does
yeah.
not have to be a huge amount. It just can, you just have to get comfortable with the idea of of food on a plate getting pushed away or thrown away.
Okay, and then back to the restaurant scenario. So your tips there were to um put some of it in a to go before you even start eating. Yeah.
Yes. That's
And then
I'm a restaurant caver, and that's what I do every time I go out. If I see that it is a
okay.
huge amount of food, I'll be like, you know what? I know I'm never going to eat all this. Can you bring the box now so I can put it away? And I do it right away because I will just keep eating. So that's been my strategy. And pretty soon, as you start eating less and your portions get less, your stomach's not going to want more. You're going to start to
Yeah.
feel full sooner. especially if you're in a restaurant and you're talking to people, which you're spacing out your bites of food, you have time for those receptors to tell you, I forget the ghrelin or whatever it is that tells you that you're getting full. We don't always give it enough time. We just eat real fast. A lot of us eat really fast and we overeat because we don't give our bodies time. That's the whole idea behind the mindfulness of eating, taking a bite, savoring the bite, slowing the intake down. And in a restaurant, you do have that opportunity because you're with people. So you can talk, you can pause for a moment, have a moment of conversation, and it can help you give your body time to have those signals. And then once again, not just giving your body time, but you got to give your brain and your emotions the okay to leave food or to put it into a to-go box and be okay with that.
Mm. So those receptors are starting to work really well at home, but for some reason they just blocked in the restaurant. So what do you do about the bread basket? I do the tapping under the table and it doesn't seem to help. What else do you do about the bread basket? I don't want to pack the bread basket to go.
I will either ask it to stay at the other end of the table, or in some cases, when my husband and I go out personally, my husband has type 2 diabetes and he's married to a health coach. So you know how that goes. I'll be like, we don't need it. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then he gives me the salty look. But so you can either ask to have it on the other part of the table, tell them you only want one portion.
Mm.
Oh, because, and here's another part of push the plate away. If you don't eat the bread in the basket, they can't reserve it. It has to get thrown out. And I personally have a problem with that. They're going to bring this huge bread basket. I don't want it. I don't eat it. And then they're going to throw it out. So I prefer to actually say, just bring one roll for him or bring 2 rolls and don't bring any more than that, because we're not going to eat all that. And we know you have to discard it afterwards. And then if we're with a bunch of people who do care about the bread, it goes to the other side of the table. Just keep it down there. Thank you. Because I don't want to fill up on bread before my meal. That's the excuse I use. Don't want to fill up on bread before my meal.
Okay, thank
And then
you.
if you do cave to the bread, I know this doesn't sound healthy because this is very much against everything we talk about in the past, but don't eat the naked carb. Put butter on it so that at least it's not hitting your blood, the glucose is not hitting the bloodstream quite as fast. It'll slow down the release of glucose into your bloodstream a little bit. So naked carbs, if you put some healthy fat on it, like grass-fed butter or something like that, that can help. That way, it slows down the absorption. So, but once again, you got a meal coming, so maybe one roll, ask them to put less in the bread basket or keep the bread basket at the other side of the table if you're with other people. And yes, restaurants are going to be challenging. They always are. You don't have control of what they put in the food, and you don't have control of how much they bring you unless you very much specify it.
So do you still find restaurants challenging?
I do. And sometimes the reason I find them challenging is I also have some food allergies. And Casey just said try having a small stack before you go to the restaurant. That is another good tip too. I've tried doing that before going to parties. I'll have a snack before I go to parties, so I don't just sit there and eat like the cocktail foods. Then you have a glass of wine before you've had any food, and now you're eating all the cocktail foods and having more wine because that just opens up the appetite right there. So
yeah.
Does that seem like, do you want to try it? And then maybe next time we have a buddy call, we can go over it and see what we can do.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Thanks.
And maybe tap even before you go too.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to see the bread basket. I don't need to cave to the bread basket. I don't need to clean my plate. Whatever you need to say to yourself, try that, and then we'll see how it goes.
I should probably, I'm just thinking about it, do some tapping on ball of light and the breads as well. Maybe there's something there. Um,
Do you
yeah.
feel like there may be?
I battle to find memories coming up when I do the ball of light, so I know I'm going to battle with that one. But
Okay.
yeah, I might have to call Casey.
Yeah, there might be some attachment there, some emotional
Mm.
attachment, and it just hasn't come up yet.
Although
And
I'm
that, yeah,
fine at
once
home
you
with
can
the
kind of
breath.
find that, and the ball of light will, yeah, doing the ball of light will definitely help.
Mm.
So that sometimes it takes a few sessions to actually find the root,
Mm.
the little table leg as they call it. So,
Okay, thank you.
and short of that, just keep the bread basket on the other side of the table. All right. Do you feel complete
Yeah,
for the
thank
moment?
you.
Okay. I think Kathy has her hand raised.
Yeah, Teresa, I think you guys kind of got into it at the end. This was a question about what you were discussing with Maddie. And I appreciate all the strategies, but my question was, if it still feels like a struggle, is there more tapping or something else to do um, to make that better as opposed to always relying on different strategies to kind of make it easier?
Yes, and the reason we would use strategies is until we hit the point where the tapping has taken effect.
Got it.
Tapping can do a huge amount, but sometimes you're facing situations also where you haven't tapped through them yet. So if you don't want to feel out of control, having some strategies in your back pocket is not a bad idea.
Great, thanks. Yeah.
You're welcome. Did anybody else have something, a win or question at this point, bring up some questions? Karen, hello.
Hi. Um, I just started with the week of, forget what that's called, the free week with Bethany on January 19th. And then I bought the program the next week. And I think I just finished module 1 today, I hope. So I've done some tapping, and I've done the tapping script for chocolate craving. I've done it 2 times. And I tap down to usually to a 2 or a 3. And I've even gone back and repeated part of the script or a couple of parts of the script. And I don't seem to be able to get past that. And I know it says if you get 3 or higher, that's good. That's fine. But then I also remember hearing Bethany say on one of the videos that she likes to go down to the 0. So I'm wondering, how do you do that? Or how do I do that?
I'd like everybody to go to a 0 too. Sometimes
Yeah.
it doesn't go there.
Yeah.
So sometimes we either have to look and see if there's other things there, or there's a couple other strategies that are more involved that can be, that are use a little bit of eye movements and things like that.
Mm.
Sometimes you just can't get it to a 0 right away. But
Mhm.
over time, a couple hours later, you'll suddenly be like, oh, you know what? That went away. So,
Mm.
and then sometimes it takes a couple sessions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes our patterns didn't happen overnight, and sometimes tapping and thinking they're going to go away overnight doesn't always happen. Sometimes it's a process, or sometimes they're deeply seated, and we have to go through the process and eliminate all the things supporting it.
Mm.
I've heard it said in training.
Mhm.
It's the thing you're facing is like the tabletop, but it's being supported by different legs. And when you go back and you do different strategies, you're tapping away, you're eliminating one leg at a time until the whole tabletop collapses. And sometimes it takes a couple times to get the tabletop to collapse.
Cool. I did have one interesting thing. So today I tried these celebration cookies, which I think are just a Canadian brand, but it's basically a biscuit rectangular, and then it's got the chocolate on top. And so I did with that again. It's like the biscuit was like, if, felt overbaked. The chocolate, I was still kind of liking it. And then I haven't had much luck in thinking of like ball of light, like associating foods with childhood memories. But I did think, well, they do serve these cookies on WestJet airplanes. I'm meaning I'm going on a vacation, which is always a good thing. So I thought maybe that's the association. I don't know.
Maybe, but you're not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. It just popped into my head. It's like, oh,
You'll have
maybe.
to, you'll have to tap on that and see where it
Oh,
comes
that's a
from.
good idea. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, that's about all I had to say tonight.
That's all right.
Thanks.
Sometimes things are disappointing. You're like, I just really gave into my craving for this and it wasn't even worth it. And then I think that's a win when you realize it really wasn't worth it. So
Oh, yeah,
you're less likely to want to do it again.
right. Anyway, thank you.
You're welcome. Does anybody want to talk about something else? Or at this point, I think if everybody's done their wins, we can just start talking about different things. We've talked about the restaurant challenges, the the cookies, not being able to get down to a 0. Anybody want to share anything? Or have questions?
Let me just talk about the last time I was at a restaurant 2 times ago when I didn't have those strategies in place. And then I talked with my coach, put them in place, and it was easier. But 2 times ago, they brought the bread basket, and I actually had them bring another one because I didn't have the strategy of either asking them to take it away or I hadn't tapped on bread as a trigger, which I've done. And then when they brought the food, it was a lot of food, and I felt compelled to eat it. And I did actually at that time try not to, and I stopped, but I kept picking at it. And so the two things that I did the next time I went to a restaurant, and I had had a session with my coach about it, I did ask for um, the to-go boxes, and I put them away, and that was great because I had just enough to eat, and they didn't have a bread basket, so I was okay. But because I've tapped on bread as a trigger, and because I had the strategy with the food and had a restaurant food and had tapped on it, I was able to honor what my body felt. I could feel when I was beginning to get full, and so I could stop. And someone was talking about that in our group today, and I begin to feel like I get a sigh, and if I stop there, and I give it a couple of minutes, that mysterious ghrelin, it's like a gremlin, that mysterious ghrelin, it starts to communicate with my brain, and I start to feel my stomach being full. Now, I could have eaten, kept it going, and not stopped. And if I had, I would have eaten a lot more than I needed. But because I had that sigh, and I wasn't counting on my stomach feeling, oh boy, am I stuffed, like Thanksgiving stuffed, or oh boy, I'm full. I was just saying, okay, there's that sigh. I can begin to feel a little bit full. Okay, I'm going to stop. And within a couple of minutes, I'm like, oh, I'm comfortably satiated. I'm comfortably full. And I just wanted to say it's possible. It can happen. And I was going to say there was one other point I was going to make about eating, but I guess those were the biggies. So anyway, I think the biggest thing for me also was to slow down because especially with a group of people, I would just be on automatic eating, not tasting and savoring, putting my fork down in between bites, just slow down. And by slowing down, I give myself a chance to feel it. So that's me.
No, that's part of your embodying your body again, your sensations. And that's perfect. That's exactly, if we can slow it down, we're not going to want to eat as much because we're going to feel full faster. We're going to notice what the food makes us feel like. And there is a point where you're going too far. And then afterwards, you're like, why did I do that? Because you don't feel great after you're too stuffed. And that starts bringing up guilt and shame. And those are two emotions we could all do without, guilt and shame. So, all right. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to contribute? All right, Tam.
No. Hi, sorry. I don't know how to do the little handy thing. I've been trying to work it out, but I don't know what I'm doing there. But no, just to follow on with what Maddie was sort of saying in the bread situation, has it got something to do with like the precursor to food? Because Maddie, I'm South African originally, by the way, too. So I know at a barbecue or a braai, as we used to call it, you go, it's at this is more to do with going to like a family or something, and they put out the chips and the bickies and the dip and all the little bits and pieces before you actually have your meal, which is basically pretty much what the bread is at the restaurant as well.
Yes.
So, and I know too, I sort of like, I pick and I pick and I pick, and I actually don't really need it because the meal's coming, but you've got the sort of the bread or the chips and the dip and that there. And that is hard to sort of stop, to get. So, that's just what I want to
you're right. That's part of it. And then we're just accustomed to the picking before we eat. It's social. We're picking, we're talking, so it's become very socialized, and trying not to do that feels antisocial sometimes. People will actually be disappointed if you don't eat. So you're sitting there, you're trying not to pick at everything because you're trying to be healthier, and they're like, you're not eating? Why not? Like something's wrong with that. So the tapping and kind of getting rid of that guilt and not letting people pressure it, that's really hard, to not let people pressure into things, especially if you're a people pleaser. That's really hard to do. But one of the things we can do tonight, I think, before we leave, is we can do a round of tapping on cravings, and like not craving the bread, not craving the stuff in the beginning, being able to walk away from it or have much less of it.
I think sometimes it's not what you want. You don't really want the bread, or you don't really want the snacks, but you just automatically do it. So is that a current thing? Is it a social thing, or is it an old, like something from runs past that sort of
I think
ingrained?
Yes. I think it really depends on the person. I think it's you go to a cocktail party, they put out all these snacks, and then you eat dinner. Like, you go to a wedding, you have a cocktail hour with all this food, and then you have the dinner, and you're like, why do we do that? Why do we need all that stuff? So sometimes I think giving you a little bit of food if you're drinking alcohol is prudent, because otherwise you're going to feel your alcohol too soon. I think that might be a little bit part of it. And cheese can enhance, they say cheese enhances the taste of wine and also helps you digest wine better. But that doesn't explain the crackers and all the other stuff too. So I think it's a combination of social. I think it's a combination of, if it's there, you're going to eat it because looks good, I want it. Or you're just doing what everybody else does. I mean, we do run around with mirror neurons. The mirror neurons are our little apps in our brain that makes us mimic other people. That's, the babies smile at you because they see you smile. So we do have mirror neurons. So we're trying to kind of fit in with other people. We're reading their faces, and everybody's eating and all happy. We want to do the same thing. So working on all the emotional reasons behind it and trying to get rid of the cravings can just do nothing but put us in the clear. And face it, sometimes we're going to go to the party and we're going to eat the junk before anyhow. And that's part of being human. We just don't have to do it every time.
No, fair enough. And I'll just quickly add, I did have a little bit of a win last night, because one of my big things is snacking at night. And when you're watching the TV, that sort of brainless Love Island and all those sort of silly shows, watching with my daughter last night, and we're like, I could so do with some chocolate. And then I did the whole tapping thing, and yeah, didn't sort of feel like it after about 10 minutes. So I didn't have it in the house, but sometimes when that happens, we go out and go and grab it. But no, after a while, that was it. Didn't feel like it. So that was a little win for me.
That's a great win. Late night TV is, later night TV is rough because every other commercial's food. So if you were not hungry when you sat down to watch TV, now you are. I just turn the volume down and then I'll put the volume up when the show comes back on, because I'll find myself craving things I don't even want because it was in front of me and they're, making it look appetizing.
Exactly.
But good for you. Tapping is perfect.
Thank you.
All right. Does anybody have anything else they'd like to share? All right. Well, how about we do a tapping script? Well, somebody's got a message for you. Okay, make sure you look at the chat, okay, Tam, because somebody's messaging you. Anyhow, let's do some tapping on eating and cravings and how they're related to emotions and safety. So I'd like everybody, when you do tapping, by the way, one of the helpful things is to have water with you, and maybe take sips of water between rounds or when you're finished. Water is grounding, so that can also help you make some shifts. So if you have water, just keep it next to you. So I want you to all just put your hand on your heart for a moment again, take a nice deep letting go breath. And just go back to where we were in the beginning of this hour and feel that calmness, that safety. Let your breath come in and out through your heart for a moment and just feel that sense of safety, of comfort. And know that you're in a group that is supported before we start. And then let's go ahead and start tapping on the side of our hand, karate chop spot. Even though part of me may use food to feel safe or for comfort, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though sometimes the foods are so tempting and I have a hard time controlling my intake, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though this is a pattern that may be societal or it may have come from my childhood, I have the ability to choose differently now. All right, start with the top of your head. It might have been the younger part of me that craved this food. Inside of your eye. It may have been me trying to stay safe or feel connected to others. Side of the eye. It could be a pattern. I'm just used to reaching for the bread or the cookies or the chocolate. Under the eye. Maybe I'm using food for comfort. And when I want to feel comfortable, I crave it. Under the nose. Maybe in the past, comfort was inconsistent, but food was always there. And the chin. Or maybe I crave certain things because they remind me of a good time. Under your collarbone. The food still tastes the same, even if the situation is different. Under your arm. The people may change, but the food is still the same. top of my head. So of course, if I have the familiar food, then I'm going to feel comfortable no matter where I am. Inside the eyebrow. This doesn't mean that I'm broken. It doesn't mean that I'm dysfunctional. Side of the eye. It's an adaptation I may have acquired that I can change. Under your eye. My nervous system may be calling the shots here. Under the nose. But I can reframe this and I can change my state and unlearn this behavior. Under the chin. Because I am not the same person that I was when I developed this craving. Collarbone. I am a safe and comfortable adult. Under your arm. I can make the choices. I can feel comfortable and choose to feel comfortable no matter where I am. Top of the head. My body and my nervous system does not have to relive the past. Inside of the eye. My younger self may have loved these foods and been emotionally attached to these foods. Side of the eye. But I'm going to release these foods from the role of the comforter. Under the eye. I choose safety, presence, and compassion for myself right now. Under the nose. I do not have to give in to cravings because now I choose. Under the chin. I am a safe, comfortable adult. I call the shots. Under the collarbone. I can find other ways to bring myself to comfort and safety. Under the arm. So once again, I choose. I take agency over my cravings. Go ahead and take a deep breath. And a nice, long, slow exhale. Maybe put your hand on your heart. And just notice what you're feeling right now. Does anybody have any comments? Just take your time. If you can tap a little bit, maybe on the same subject we just did. Remember last week we talked about how you consolidate things in your sleep, like in your REM sleep. You do the different cycles, and sometimes tapping on certain subjects before you go to bed can help. It'll help you reconsolidate memories and new thought processes. So give it a try, see if it helps. So if nobody has anything else, I'll give you another moment or so. We will close our meeting tonight. I will say that I appreciate all of you ladies, and I appreciate the openness and the community. I always feel like I've gotten a nice round of tapping in after just talking with everybody too. Sometimes tapping with other people is just as effective as one-on-one tapping with somebody. So, all right. If nobody else has anything, oh, there goes the yawn. Okay, Mary's ready. There's the shift. All right. Thank you all very much. Have a great rest of your night. And we'll see you sometime in the near future. All right. Bye now.